John's in the background. Okay, all right.
As it should be.
You what?
As it should be.
Yeah, that's true. John's in the background, as it should be. All right, so welcome back, everyone. As we mentioned before, we're here with Tanya, and she's from the January Gin Joint and Eatery.
Yeah, 1820 government.
Right, exactly. And she's also the coordinator, or well, the founder, really, of the Gin Festival, the first one.
GINUARY GIN Festival.
That's
First ever gin festival in YYJ. We're pretty excited about that.
First of many, I predict.
I think we're going to do it annually.
Especially after you watch John get completely plastered at the event. Which...
That alone would be a reason to do it annually.
And that's next Sunday. So actually what we want to do now is hear about how this came to be. So maybe just give us a little bit of background and story and why we're in a half-done, not even a half-done.
We haven't even started. No.
Yeah.
We've done the deconstruction, the strip out, the interior strip out of the space, and then we stalled fully. So we started this restaurant project in late 2019. By the time we were done with architects and engineers and everything else, we're ready to pull our building permit. It was March of 2020, and the next week we went to essential services. So a full stop on the project, and then we've started and stopped so many times I can't remember. We've had partners and investors come on and fall off several different times. And each and every time that something else would go sideways, we would kind of pick ourselves up and dust ourselves off and figure out how we were going to keep going. We've got 20 years on the lease.
Oh, wow.
5 and 3 and for our terms, and we wanted to build something that was a destination in this neighborhood and help support the other restaurants in the neighborhood with our offering. So with that, we designed the menu, charcuterie and desserts only, specifically so that you could go to your favorite already established local places and all the new that I'm sure are going to come with the development of the Brewery Design District.
Oh, yeah.
So we have been selling memberships, private memberships to pay our rent.
Oh, cool.
Which has been a fun little thing. So we created the Founding Members Club. There's only room for 50 founders.
Oh.
And we've sold about 25 memberships already. And we do a few of those each month to cover up our expenses.
Cool. What do you get as a membership?
As a member, you get the ability to use the downstairs speakeasy, which we're in, which is our private dining room. Access to a special Founders Club members only cocktail menu, a couple break-even bottles of gin, of premium gin. So at our cost, you get those bottles. So you can look like somebody important in one of our gangster style booths upstairs. It'll be fun. So great if it's your birthday or you're entertaining or
bottle service.
Basically, we can't sell you the bottle as the bottle service within BC, but you get the price of the bottle for just that. Yeah, so you look kind of gangster, right?
Yeah,
Super slick pricing for you. And a few other things like that. You get access to early ticket prices when we do live music. We have our entertainment endorsement for the basement, so we're going to do unplugged live jazz, acid jazz, and electro swing down in the basement, which will be super fun down here.
I so want to be here. Like I'm in it right now. And I'm looking so forward to this because it's incredible. Like
this will be our first speakeasy in the city. I'm super excited.
Wow,
So, well, maybe not our first because I've only been here 10 years. So there might have been some back in the day, but it would be our first right now.
First legal one. Let's just say that.
And then our founders are our only people that can ever make reservations. So that's kind of the hook. So that's our special thank you to the people that have supported us. So when we get to tell our story when we're finally open of how we made it through COVID, we get to say a big thank you to our founders that supported us. And they will get to make reservations, everyone else.
Oh, that's
we'll have
so
to
nice.
be outside on the street like the rest of the rest of us.
What I love about this story is the fact that you took something like so controversial of starting this, and it was March and the beginning of COVID, and rather than just giving up and walking away, you came up with an interesting way, but through the memberships, to continue to keep the space and keep your dream alive.
We've had to be super creative. It's definitely a very bootstrapped project, to say the least. And that was sort of the inspiration around the Gin Festival as well. We had our latest investor come on board in late December, about to sign paperwork early January, when he found out that they had canceled all celebrations for New Year's Eve again. And with that public health order in place, he texted me on New Year's Day and said, "I'm sorry, too volatile for me still, I'm out." And I poured myself a very large glass of gin and sat crying about that for a little while when I saw a TikTok reel that had been circulating with an interview that Rihanna had done.
Oh, nice.
And they had asked her what she did when she wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
And for her answer, the interviewer had said, when you've got to go out on the red carpet and that, but sort of applicable. And she replied, she goes, well, I fake it, of course. What am I going to do? Sit at home and cry? And I thought that was the best answer. I chugged the rest of my glass of gin, put my big girl pants on, and off I went out to St. Anne's. And we filmed there quite a bit in my career here in Victoria. So I walked around on the apple orchards and thought, what a great place to have something safe, socially distanced outside, where we can still celebrate all the things we have to be grateful for, because we do certainly have a lot, even though it's been very challenging, but offset our COVID fatigue and get a chance to reconnect with everyone. So hopefully we're coming to the end of all of this late in March. We started originally with a date in January for the festival, but because so many people had COVID, we had to postpone. So now Sunday, March 6th, we'll be there from 1 to 5 for the general population, and noon to 1 for everyone for industry hour.
This is incredible.
We hope it's an annual thing.
Yeah, but you know what else I really like about it is that you're doing all of this for the community. Like, you're not just doing it for yourself, right? Yeah, you got your big girl panties on, and you went out and she cold called a bunch of people and created this thing, which I totally admire. But it's not just about that, but you're going to be giving out the proceeds if there's any profits. Where is that going?
We're hoping to make a donation to the Benevolent Bartenders Fund, which supports people in the hospitality industry, which has been incredibly hard hit, including ourselves. But all the people that have had their doors open, I think actually have had it worse than we have. We've just been trying to keep our head above water, but they've had to be responsible for themselves, their space, their staff, their customers, and their client base. All of that is so hard, so challenging. And so many people have done so well, and Victoria is so incredible to support small businesses and local businesses. We've done actually really great compared to other places in the world. So I feel that we're quite fortunate here.
And I love the fact that you're also supporting the distilleries, right? Like the independents, like we hear about the craft breweries all the time.
I'm so stoked that we're going to have so many local craft distillers here. There are some that are coming that are just individual people. That's just them or them and their partner, as well as some of the bigger productions. So we're going to have them here on the field. Some of them, I've never met any of these distillers before. And some of them, when I called, said, you're crazy, right? And I said, yep. And they said, we love it, we're in. So it's going to be really inspirational to see all these people come together. All the people participating are volunteers. Almost every one of our costs so far has been covered off with sponsorship. We just have to pay for things like our security, the grounds at St. Anne's, our insurance, et cetera, et cetera. But hopefully we're going to break even, and then next year we'll be organized and back at it and bigger and better. And
it's going to be incredible. We're so looking forward to it. I mean, I just happened to notice it right out there on the internet. I'm like, oh my gosh! So I reached out to her and said, "Do you mind if we come? Can we come?"
The artwork for the event poster is very, very eye-catching. That's an artist out of the UK.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
It's amazing. I love that artwork. It's a strength tarot card, which when I saw it, it immediately resonated with me. The vibrancy of the colors, the message behind the strength tarot card, the reason for doing the festival, trying to offset COVID fatigue and cheer everyone up and reconnect our community. It just all seemed to fit so well. So we have people that are messaging me and asking if they can buy the posters. They want to know if we're making t-shirts. We're working on all of that. That'll be next week.
It sort of fits with the theme of the restaurant too. It's kind of the same era, isn't it?
It's sort of all along that lines, yeah. So we're just hoping we come out of this pandemic like they did in the 1820s, 1920s, 1920s, the Roaring 20s, yeah.
Oh, what? I didn't even put that together.
1920s, yeah.
And then now you've got this 1920s.
We had the concept for the decor before the pandemic. Ironically, now we've gone through exactly the same thing as they did then. And so back then, when everybody felt like they had this live or die sort of attitude, you don't know what's going to happen the next day, so embrace life to its fullest. I kind of feel like we're going to be back to that, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
It's going to be so fun.
It's going to be great.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I mean, this has been really interesting. And we are going just from this clip for a little bit, but what we're going to do is give you a brief little tour because it is super cool. In
Our spooky basement tour.
Spooky, you got any ghosts?
There might be. There's definitely some interesting history in this building, the Limdat building, named after the unofficial mayor of Chinatown back in the day. So I might show you guys the spooky tunnel.
Yeah. So
Okay.
do we know approximately like how old this space is?
I would say, I think the building's around 115, 120 years old. There's definitely some history out there on the internet, but there are some questions because it is dating back so far
Yeah.
about which building in Chinatown originally was named for Lim Dat. So this one has it on the doors, but there's several others that they've said also were called the Lim Dat building or Lim Dat buildings for this lovely gentleman that was sort of the champion of all the peoples in Chinatown. So it's an interesting space for sure. You can see behind us the archways that are here. And yeah, right over there, we'll do a little spooky tour.
Yeah, I'm gonna start the tour, so I'm gonna turn this off and we're gonna start again, okay? So, we'll be back.